Hi, I'm David Friedman, and I run Partly Dave's Neighbourhood Garage. I started this garage quite a while ago. Holy moly, 82. People ask why I called it Partly Dave's. Part of it is that I consider it partly mine and partly the customer's. I'd like to run it in a way that if I were on the other side of the counter that I'd feel comfortable. Anyway, come have a look around. When I was a young person and I got my first car, it just never occurred to me to take it anywhere to get it fixed. I just would fix it myself. So I started out learning. I think I bought a little repair manual that covered my car, and I started buying some tools. I realized pretty quickly that it was a better deal for me all around to buy a manual and buy the tools that I needed to do the job rather than paying somebody else to do it. For probably less money, I would own the tools and have the information and be more self-reliant and do it myself. When I moved out of my parents' home and out onto my own, I earned my living, I earned my keep for about 10 years, living hand-to-mouth, just being a mechanic for people until I built a shop at home, and then I worked out of that. Oh, it was kind of funny, like at home I had no electricity for years, and I didn't have even a phone, so I remember somebody made an appointment by postcard once. And then I took over this place and started to run this as my garage. It was wonderful. All of a sudden it's like now I had electricity, and there's a hoist, and there's a compressor, and there's a solvent tank, and there's a parts room, and a bathroom. It's like, holy man, it's great. So once I started operating from this building, then I decided I should get my trade qualification, my journeyman's TQ, and I challenged the test and became a licensed technician. Hello, Partly Dave's Dave here.
Why did you choose to specialize in VWs?
Well, my very first car was a 56 Volkswagen Beetle, and I got to know them. I got to know other cars as well. But Volkswagens are good because, especially those old ones, were very easy to maintain. They were easy to work on. They were simple to understand. They were light. I just have always liked them. They were, as originally intended, the people's car. We work on most any kind of vehicle that comes around. We've worked on from Jaguars to Mercedes and Alfa Romeos to Zephyrs. Well, there you go, A to Z. We're known for working on Volkswagens and BMW bikes, especially because of their simplicity and reliability and the fun factor. These are what I know and what I love and what I'm enthusiastic about. I've usually been willing to buy tools and information as needed so that we can pretty much take on whatever comes along. It's rare when I will willingly turn something away.
So how did you get the name Partly Dave's?
Well, back in the early days, I was doing a job for some people of rebuilding their Volkswagen Beetle engine in their carport in the middle of the winter. And back then I didn't have the connections I have now for parts and machining, and I had some problems. I ended up getting some wrong parts, and the engine wouldn't go together properly and still turn over. I had to take it back apart again and figure out what was wrong, and found pistons that were 1 millimeter too tall, and they were hitting the cylinder heads, and I ended up getting it all sorted out. But these people thought it was quite hilarious watching me go through all these contortions to try and get this job done. And at the end of the job, they presented me with this cap. It's like a Maytag repairman's cap that she had embroidered on the front with, "Hi, I'm Partly Dave, your friendly neighborhood VW repairman." And also at the same time, she, as presenting the hat, she showed me where this had come from, where the name Partly Dave came from. And the truth is, it was originally from a one-page, two-paragraph short story by John Lennon, the dead Beatle. In this book, In His Own Right, W-R-I-T-E, and subtitled A Spaniard in the Works, like plays on words, lots of plays on words, lots of jokes and funny things in his book. So this one-page story called Partly Dave, about a guy named Dave that was only partly there. So they thought that was pretty appropriate and funny, and showed me that, and we all had a good laugh. And then at that point, I was working out of an old Volkswagen van with a box of tools and an old floor jack that I rebuilt, and just would go to wherever the work was. So I started working out of here, and then wondering what I should call the business at this location. And there was a customer that had been a customer all along when I was working from at home, just lived around the corner, and he came by for something or other, and he said it's so great to have a neighborhood garage. And it was like the light went on for me. It's like, bingo, there's the name, Partly Dave's Neighborhood Garage.
This is how we make coffee at Partly Dave's. We got honey like that, and we stir. And it tastes better because, I guess because of the screwdriver. It's well used. You getting sound too?
Yes, we are. Sounds good.